Good morning, I'm Dr. Ebonie Vincent. I'm here at the Indigo Hotel in Los Angeles at the Present E-Learning Systems Conference. I'm here with Dr. Allan Bass. He has been in practice for over
25 years.
Over 25 years, and so we have a lot to discuss with him. I want to start with the question of how you decided to start your own practice over 25 years ago. And what drove you to starting your own practice as opposed to being an associate or an independent contractor for someone else?
Sure. Well, I will say that I did start when I came out of residency, somebody did introduce me to him for a short time. I did work as an associate with another practice, but early on in my life, I realized I need to do these things on my own. I need to be the decision maker. So I was very lucky that a relative who's an accountant handled a lot of podiatry practices, so helped me from a financial standpoint on what to look for in purchasing a practice.
Okay.
So he had podiatrists as clients, so I knew the questions to ask and the type of practice I wanted to get into right away.
Right.
So I decided I'm going to take the leap and had a business plan drawn up.
Wow.
And went to the bank. And because as a young practitioner, I needed money.
Yeah.
We all need money. I talk about I need cash for that, and bought my first private practice about 18 months after graduating from my residency.
Wow.
And had some things go on. It was tough. Early on, it was a smaller practice, and when the woman who was working at the front desk saw that there were going to be some changes, left me relatively quickly when I wanted to institute some of my own policies and procedures.
Okay.
And listen, it's been a learning experience for 25 years. I learn every single day.
Would you say there has to be like a mind switch, like your doctor brain turns off and your business brain goes on?
Oh,
is that
sure? Okay. So I will say one thing. I was sitting yesterday with a young podiatrist who was graduating from a top residency and fellowship on the East Coast, and I said to this young podiatrist, "You are a phenomenal surgeon. You are a horrible business person."
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that background, you're a great clinician, but you need to get the business behind you. You need to have somebody teach you or learn from somebody. You need to be a sponge and learn from other doctors who have done it for so many years, because there is a complete difference between being a doctor
and being a business owner.
Being a small business owner. Because
so would you recommend, like, those who seek to have their own business, to have their own practice after podiatry school, would you recommend they become associates and learn from someone else prior to, or would you say that, you know, the best teacher is life experience?
So I would say a little bit of both.
Okay.
If you really want to go on your own, go for it, but then you need to go out and get that education on your own. I sit on the board of directors for the American Academy of Podiatric Practice Management, of the AAPPM, and that's what we do. We talk about business management and practice management. But if you don't feel that you want to do it that way, be a sponge. Soak it up from somebody you trust. Early on in your career, whether you're a resident or a young practitioner, ask to go in and visit another doctor. Go in and see how things are done in other practices, because that's how you're going to learn each and every day. Maybe that's a protocol you want to institute in your practice to become successful.
Right. So fast forward to 25 years down the road.
Long time.
You're obviously very successful. You're running a successful practice. Can you say maybe 3 things that have been like your staple in maintaining your reputation as a physician and as a small business owner?
So as a reputation, wow, that's a tough one. So I try to learn something each and every day. I still go to conferences every time I can, try to learn something. I've really focused on business management and practice management over the years with the change in technology. I try to be on the forefront of technology. I was a very early adopter of electronic health records in my practice. Long before there was EHR, I was even doing my notes in Microsoft Word.
Oh, perfect.
Long time. Bringing in new technology into my practice, whether it's a scanner instead of plaster casting for orthotics, or treating with microwave technology for plantar verruca. It's really important to continue to grow. Never be happy, never be stagnant in what you do, because that's how you're going to grow and become successful. And I think the biggest thing is find your passion. Find what you like to do. So one of the things that I'm very different from a lot of other podiatrists is I don't enjoy surgery. I enjoy the practice of medicine and talking with my patients. I love pediatrics.
Yeah.
I love treating kids. I love when kids come in. I have an entire wall in my practice of all pictures that they've drawn, and people love that. And the kids want to be on the wall. How can I get my picture on the wall?
Yeah.
So I love treating pediatrics, and I'm very lucky that in my area, I send my surgical patients out to my colleagues, and they perform surgery and send those patients back to me because I respect them enough, and they know that they will respect me and send them back.
I think that's the beautiful thing about podiatry. Like, if you want to be surgical, you can be surgical.
Sure.
If you don't want to be surgical, there's so many other aspects of podiatric medicine that you can focus on. Would you say that if you are going into private practice, that you should focus on that specific niche? Like you said, yours is pediatrics. Like, if someone wants to do specifically sports or women in sports or anything like that.
Definitely find your passion. Find what you like to do. I love biomechanics as well. So I like to do more primary podiatric medicine as opposed to podiatric surgery. So whether it's podiatric dermatology or podopediatrics or sports medicine and biomechanics, that's what I love every day.
Right.
And whether you enjoy doing reconstructive surgery or whatever it might be, find your passion in it. And really, that's what's going to make you better, because you're going to enjoy going to your office every day. You're not going to regret
what you do.
And do what you do. Enjoy
Exactly.
enjoy what you do every day. It's so important.
As far as a marketing standpoint, from your early practice days, like, I know you said technology is a very big entity. So how would you go about explaining to young practitioners who want to do that, the social media aspect of marketing?
So I'm a dinosaur. So I think a lot of young podiatrists can probably explain it to me.
Yeah.
But social media has changed our world.
Yes.
Whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram or Snapchat, or is it TikTok? I think it's called TikTok. Whatever it might be. I don't even know. I learned from the kids who come into my practice. Social media will change the way you practice. It has changed my practice incredibly. In the last 10 years, I have become so much more aware of social media, reputation management, how I am reviewed by people throughout my community and my state. And that is really something that you have to really focus on. Don't just focus on medicine.
Right. You have to be a part of the online community also.
You have to be part of online community. Yeah. So you're all going to, every young doctor is going to be a great doctor.
Yes.
Like yourself. You're young, you're a great doctor. It's about learning business.
Yes.
Being involved with social media. Being involved with your community. I live and practice in the same town. And people see me in the supermarket or in the restaurants.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love being able to interact. People see me as the average, everyday person.
You're the community podiatrist.
I just chose to become a podiatrist.
I love it.
And they can talk to me whenever they want. I get stopped in the supermarket all the time.
So everyone loves complimenting, and you have probably great reviews online, but I know that a lot of some of the bad reviews stick out in your mind.
Sure.
So you did touch on that in your lecture. Can you go over a little bit about how you maintain poise, grace, and professionalism with those bad comments?
Sure. So as I say, first of all, remember, be calm and be empathetic.
Yes.
You're a patient as well. As a doctor, you know what? You might not know that you might not have been on your game for the day.
Right.
You might have been off that day. Yeah. Something might have happened in whatever it might be. Home, personal, professional, whatever it might be. Remember, the patient may perceive what you perceive differently.
Yes.
So remember that the patient has a right to what they want to say and how they feel. Just like I say to my patients, I can't tell you whether or not you have pain. I can't tell a patient whether or not they had a good experience or not. So it's very important, especially from a reputation standpoint, from this social media standpoint, is be cognizant of what is going on around you in that social media world. Again, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or Google, whatever it might be, have a program in your practice that you're going to monitor that, because you want to know what people think about you.
So just acknowledge the person's
100%,
feelings, and then express yourself as well.
Exactly. As I say, if you're going to discuss on social media a patient's review, be factual, be generic, because you never want to disclose anything from personal information about a patient, be careful. Even saying he or she might be a problem can be misconstrued.
Okay.
So just talk about usual and customary practices that you have. Acknowledge that the person might not have had a good experience. We try to always provide a good experience for all patients.
Right.
And see if you can reach out to that patient outside of social media, just to be able to discuss these things, and then hopefully it gets resolved. And that person might actually go out and write a review saying, you know what, even I had the doctor might have had a bad day, maybe I had a bad day.
Right,
and I want to say that the doctor reached out to me and we're all good now.
Right.
Because that's happened to me in my practice, and it's the best thing.
Yeah.
Because people see that you're human.
And most of the time there's more good reviews than bad. And so
100%.
that's not a huge ask to reach out to the few bad comments.
It's a good thing to do.
On a greater note, can you just say one thing that has been the most rewarding in all of your years of private practice?
So the one thing I say about being a podiatrist, the one thing I love about being a podiatrist, is a patient can come in pain and a lot of time leave pain-free.
Yes.
That is the best thing. Whether it's a foreign body I took out of their foot, an ingrown toenail, an injection I gave for some type of biomechanical issue.
Right.
If I can have a patient leave pain-free when they left in pain, that was the most rewarding thing I did that day.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bass, for everything.
It was a
This
pleasure.
has been great.
So nice meeting you.
All right. Again, I'm Dr. Ebonie Vincent, and we're here at the Indigo Hotel at Present E-Learning Systems Conference. Thank you.